Hello, everyone. I'm Grant Butler from the Oregonian and OregonLive.com. Thanksgiving is almost here, and there's really nothing better about the holiday table than stuffing. But what kind of stuffing you make depends on what part of the country you're from. Joining me today is Judy Walker from the Times-Picayune and NOLA.com, and Debbi Snook from the Plain Dealer and Cleveland.com, and we're each going to talk about what makes stuffing special in our part of the country. In the Pacific Northwest, classic stuffing has to have Washington apples and either Oregon hazelnuts or chestnuts in it, and typically it's made with artisan bread of some type. Right now, Honeycrisp and Gala apples are at their peak, and they have a great sweet flavor that's perfect for cutting through the flavors of sage and rosemary that you often find in stuffing. And a lot of people in Oregon like to use hazelnuts in their stuffing, but Oregon is also home to some of the oldest chestnut farms in the country, so it's not uncommon for people to use roasted chestnuts in their stuffing. Now, Portland is home to great artisan bakeries, so a lot of people, instead of more traditional bread stuffings, will use artisan bread, so they'll use things like como or ciabatta bread as the foundation for their stuffing. For me personally, I'm from the Midwest, and I like to use cornbread as my stuffing base, and I will add to that chopped hazelnuts, apple, and maybe a handful or two of dried cranberries. For me, it's just not Thanksgiving without that. Judy, maybe you can share a few of the traditions behind Thanksgiving stuffing in New Orleans.
Yes, Grant. Well, yours certainly sounds good. Actually, here in New Orleans, everything is different. And first of all, we don't call it stuffing. Most people call it dressing. And actually, the kind of dressing that's most popular in New Orleans is the oyster dressing. When you talk to most people, this is what their grandmothers made. It typically has some ground beef in it, and sometimes some gizzards, chopped up gizzards, and other giblets from the turkey. And it is made with our famous New Orleans French bread. And so it's light and fluffy, or can be. The other kind of dressing that seems to be most popular in Louisiana is from Cajun country. Now, you know, New Orleans is not Cajun country. Cajun country is west of here in Acadiana. And there, most families have a rice dressing. Again, sometimes it is flavored with the ground up giblets from the turkey. It's also really delicious. So many people here also from the South that cornbread has a presence in dressings here as well. Sometimes you'll find it combined with the wonderful sausages that are from here, the Cajun sausages as well as the New Orleans ones, tasso, andouille, all those kind of things are delicious. I've also heard of oyster dressings made with cornbread, so it's sort of all over the map. I grew up in the South, in Arkansas and Oklahoma, on cornbread dressing, and then I lived in Arizona for 20 years. So the dressing that I personally have to make every year has 3 kinds of chili peppers in it. So that's my personal tradition. So anyway, Debbi, I'm anxious to hear about the Cleveland dressing.
Yes, thank you, Judy, and thanks, Grant, and thanks for inviting me to this regional stuffing mashup. I'm sitting in the Plain Dealer editorial offices upstairs from the Hard Rock Cafe, where fortunately the aroma of all those hamburgers is not rising to the second floor. Otherwise, we'd be eating constantly. The Cleveland take on stuffing can be explained in one word: sausage. We have diverse opinions on the subject, including a very strong vegan lobby here. But when I ran a poll on Cleveland.com this week, readers chose sausage as the stuffing item most of them could not do without. 1 in 5 readers felt that way. There's a great ethnic history behind the choice. We have a strong Eastern European population here, folks who showed up to work in our steel mills, and at one time we had the largest settlement of Slovenians outside Slovenia. Our sausage makers are still very much in business with secret recipes from the old country. They have small shops in the city, and we have a 102-year-old West Side Market, which remains our temple to ethnic foods. I love sausage because it can include, if you work at it a little, all cuts of meat, making it more sustainable, and because the seasonings are often enough to flavor a whole dish, especially something like stuffing. Some of our most famous chefs, including Michael Simon of the Chew and Jonathan Sawyer, another area chef honored by the James Beard Foundation, are big fans of sausage and stuffing. The Midwest, which we are on the edge of, is big Thanksgiving country, according to a poll taken by Swanson. We make more side dishes on that holiday than anywhere in the country. I'm a fan of chestnuts, and now that I hear about Grant's chestnut trees, I'm a little jealous. We have growers here who are still experimenting with finding a strain of trees resistant to the blight that wiped out Ohio's chestnuts in the 1920s and 30s. But my real thing about stuffing is that it has to be crispy on top. Thanksgiving is often about soft foods, pumpkin pies and gravy and mashed potatoes, so that to have that contrasting crunch on stuffing is a thrill, or even just crisp turkey skin, which my sister and I still fight about, who gets the most. It makes all the work worth it. I'm also a dark meat person. How about you guys?
Oh, I love the dark meat.
And I'm definitely with you on stuffing having a crispy top. That's absolutely the only way you can have it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So whether you have your stuffing made with apples or oysters or sausage, we hope that you will enjoy your Thanksgiving stuffing and have the happiest of Thanksgivings. Thank you, Judy and Debbie, for joining us today, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Debbie.